Today is day 8 of the daily tutorial, and today I would like to start with showing you the paper I use for this tutorial, because many of you asked about it. I'm using a Dutch brand. It is called Schut. It's a sketch pad, and it is, here you can see, it is acid free, and that is important because I think it is important when you want to put your artwork on the wall, because if the paper is not acid free, the paper will change color in time. So this is it's 125 grams per square meter. Now it's a pretty thin paper. It is not too thin to my liking, but I intend to buy another sketch block, because with a little bit thicker paper. But for the tutorial it works perfect. So here's the drawing. What I'm going to do today is to I think I want to make a stronger connection between the color of the flowers and the background. And that means that it's in some areas in the background I will put a little bit of pink. Let's see what happens if I do that. I am using the pink Meadow Lake, and just a small touch of pink here and there. So far I am happy with blue being the most important color in the background. But I like to use other colors as well. It's just a slight touch of pink here and there. The camera almost fell. So let's take a step back again and see what's happening. This is working because the pink is doing more than one job. It is connecting the flowers with the background, but it is also connecting the yellow areas with the blues, because it will look a bit purplish, and from purple you go to pink, and you can go to orange, and you go to yellow. It's not exactly according to the color wheel, but it gives you the impression that there is a connection. I will put some more pink in it. Let's see what happens. So let's take a step back again, and I think the upper part of the drawing is in balance at this point, and the right side of the drawing as well, but this here needs a little bit more warmth in the background, so I will put a little bit more pink in that area. Okay, this I'm happy with this. So let's now put some more color in the background, and I will start with the blues. I really like the way this area is looking, so I will start there to intensify the colors, and from there I will build the background to the right and to the left. This pencil, the light phthalo blue, is the basic blue color for this this background. So I will use this color a lot. Now you may think, when is she going to add a little more color to the flowers? And I'll be honest with you, I am scared of the flowers, because I tend to make to color flowers too dark, and then I ruin everything. So I will wait with coloring. I won't color the flowers until the rest of the drawing is almost finished, so I can determine how much color I need to put on the flowers. Now there is another problem, I think, because my Polychromos pencils, although I absolutely love them, I think there are not enough light colors. So the color I put on here, the pink, is the lightest pink I have in my set. And as I think I'm correct, that this is the lightest pink in the entire set of Polychromos pencils. Now there is another color that is lighter, but it is actually not really pink. I'll show you. That is this one. It is called Light Flesh. And sometimes this works really well, but not always. In my Bruinzeel set there are lighter pencils. I'll show you them as well. So this is the lightest pink I have in my Polychromos set. Well, I have a similar one in the Bruinzeel set. That is this one. But I have two lighter ones as well. I have this one and this one. So maybe I will decide to color the flowers not with my Polychromos pencils, but with my Bruinzeel pencils. So I will save the flowers for last, and I will continue with the background now. Now the light phthalo blue is my main color for the background, but I have another one, a phthalo blue, so the pigment is the same. And I will use this one as well. It's a beautiful, slightly darker tone than the light phthalo blue. Someone asked me on the internet if I would always use the same stroke to put the color on paper. Well, the answer is no, because sometimes I make little circles, like I did in the leaves yesterday. Sometimes I just make linear strokes. I do cross hatching a lot. It just depends on the subject I'm coloring and the effect I want to have. And that is just really a matter of trial and error. A lot of people who start coloring freeze a little bit when they start coloring a coloring page they really love, because they are afraid they will ruin it. So just go slow and pick another page that is not your favorite to try new things. It's really not bad if you sacrifice a page to make the rest of your coloring book look better. I do that too. In my Secret Garden book I have some pages I use for experimenting. I do that in my other coloring books as well. I'll go back to the light phthalo blue and add some more color. I try to use as little pressure as possible. So the paper can pick up as many layers as possible. Okay, let's take a step back and see how things are going. This looks good, but I think the blue area in the middle I just colored need lighter areas. So I'll try to figure out how to do that. Okay, this is what I did. I just took an eraser and erased some areas, again with a very light touch because I don't want to damage the paper. And now I will use the lightest blue I have in my set to add color and see what happens. This is the lightest blue I have in my set. It is called Sky Blue. Now, if you have pencils that are not erasable, you need to be careful with adding darker colors. So if I would draw this drawing with my Bruinzeel pencils, which are not erasable, I would have started coloring the background with this type of color, a very light blue, and then later on I would add the phthalo blues and the light phthalo blues. Because these Polychromos pencils are erasable, I have a little more freedom, and I use it. So take that into account. These Polychromos pencils are oil based, and maybe that has something to do with it, with the possibility of erasing them. And my Bruinzeel pencils are wax based. As far as I know, most colored pencils are wax based. Yeah, this looks better. So I will use this sky blue to add some more color on different spots in the drawing. And I'll start in the bottom area of the drawing. I'm just adding this sky blue in the lighter areas of the background. Now here is something that needs to be figured out, because on the left side of this I always want to say bulb, but it isn't a bulb. Some English words are not need a little brain work to get them out of my memory. It's there, so I will say the word, but I don't know when. Anyway, this side is dark blue, this side is light blue. That looks weird, so let's fix it. I remember I colored this with the dark indigo, the darkest blue in my set, so I will use a little bit of that on the other side. It's a bud, B-U-D, I think, the buds. So, this looks already better. Now, let's use the phthalo blue to blend it in with the rest of the colors here. Okay, this looks much better. Now the only tool I use for blending my colors is sometimes rubbing the color in with my finger. I don't use burnishers or baby oils or something like that. I prefer to use only colored pencil. Okay, let's get back to the sky blue. Actually, this color, the sky blue, doesn't remind me of the sky. It reminds me of ice, but it's a cool, very cool blue. It reminds me of winter, that's it. Now it should be winter right now in the Netherlands. It's early February, and we didn't have much of a winter this year. It is a very stormy weather right now. And the birds are already singing a lot in the garden. When we have a good winter in the Netherlands with cold temperatures, we always get very excited because in the Netherlands we love skating on ice, and then not on artificial ice somewhere in an ice stadium, but we love skating on ponds, on rivers. Some farmers spray water on their lands, on parts of their lands, so we can so you can skate. And we have this great event called the Elfstedentocht, the 11 Cities Tour. It's about 200 kilometers of ice skating in the province called Friesland, in the north of the Netherlands. Now obviously 200 kilometers of ice skating can only happen when there's a lot of ice, and the temperatures have to be very, very cold for a long time, and that hasn't happened since the late 1990s. So it would be wonderful if that would happen again. Okay, now let's see what the background looks like now. As you can see, the center of the drawing has a lot of color right now, and it looks great, but the rest of the background needs a lot more color. So I will add a little more, and then I will get back to you. So I took a couple of minutes to add some more colors on different areas, and I hope you can see the difference. Now I need to do a lot more coloring to get the same result as I now have here and here and here. But this is going pretty well, and I think this is enough for today. So let's pick our pencils up tomorrow again. See you tomorrow.